Hello, Cryptowisers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Milton, and I will be your captain for this episode. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most talked about projects in our Telegram channel, the one, the only, Polkadex. That's right. This is another Polkadot project that has to be on your radar. So we're going to be talking all about it today. So you know what to do. Buckle up, because this is going to be another exciting episode of Cryptowise. All right, Cryptowisers, let's get into this. So what is Polkadex? Well, you might have guessed from the name, Polkadex is the trading engine for Web3 and DeFi. It is a fully decentralized, peer-to-peer, order book-based cryptocurrency exchange for the DeFi ecosystem built on Substrate. What does that mean? Well, very simply, it is a decentralized exchange, but we're going to walk through all the different ways it's different than anything out there right now, and why we think this one has huge potential and could be one of the top DEXs moving forward. All right, so what makes Polkadex different? Well, number one, of course, if you watch this channel on a regular basis, you know we are huge fans of Polkadot. So obviously, we are huge fans that Polkadex is being built on Substrate for Polkadot. But let's go into detail on why we think that's important. This is an interview from last November with Gotham J. Now, Gotham is the chief executive officer of Polkadex, and Hacker Noon did this great interview with him, and there's some great tidbits in here about why they chose Polkadot. So let's go through that. He's talking about when he first had the idea for Polkadex back in 2018, but that as he started to build a decentralized exchange on other platforms for Ethereum and whatnot, he came across a lot of issues. And so he says, that's when he came across Polkadot and Substrate framework. Whatever we were looking for, this framework had everything. A composable blockchain, not linked directly to the UI, gave us the freedom to create a highly user-friendly and easy-to-use design, allowing future upgrades to the consensus algorithm we were working on. What's more, the trustless transfer of assets means, as an exchange, we don't have to worry about the security of tokens in the exchange. That led us to rework our project idea and eventually came up with Polkadex that you see now. It is both a highly user-friendly and easy-to-use platform that could soon be comparable to large centralized exchanges out there. And to elaborate on that further, let's look at their light paper here. This gives us a really good idea of why they wanted to build on Polkadot and the advantage it gives them. It says, Polkadex's design focuses on reducing the complexity of the chain. We believe that only those things that need public verifiability need to be on-chain. In Polkadex, Orderbook, trader assets management, bridge mechanism to Polkadot and Ethereum, and on-chain market making bots are on-chain. Trading features like market data aggregation, technical analysis indicators, storage and retrieval of trade history, and all the remaining exchange-related features are made off-chain. It enabled us to increase the throughput of trades and made it comparable to the efficiency of centralized exchanges. All right, this is a very important element. It means they've been able to create a specialized blockchain that is built specifically to be a DEX so that they can keep what needs to be on-chain, take a bunch of elements off-chain so it doesn't slow down the transaction speed. So if you build a DEX on Ethereum, you got to build the whole thing on Ethereum. But with Polkadot, and I've said this before a lot in other videos, because Polkadex will be a parachain that plugs into the overall Polkadot relay chain, it can allow the relay chain to do all sorts of security and decentralization for it, and it can build a blockchain that specializes in being the best blockchain possible to be a decentralized exchange. And so that's what they're doing. That's why they picked Polkadot, and that's how they're able to offer a lot of the features we're going to talk about in this video. All right, so let's look at some of these specific features here for Polkadex. First of all, this is a glimpse of what it will look like, and as you can see, although it's a decentralized exchange, it looks very much like centralized exchanges, and that's because it has an order book. So unlike other decentralized exchanges like Uniswap or Polkaswap or SushiSwap, where it's just liquidity pools and you're trading one asset for another within these liquidity pools. On Polkadex, you're going to be able to use it like a centralized exchange, which means you'll be able to do limit orders and make trades from an order book, not liquidity pools. As it says right here, the Polkadex Orderbook. So let's go back to this interview and talk about this a little bit more. The question here says, since you mentioned centralized exchanges, I would like you to draw a parallel between these two platforms. What makes them alike, and what could be named among differences? Traders have used centralized exchanges not only in crypto, but in traditional finance as well. That's how exchange functions operate ever since trading got digital. You have a clearinghouse responsible for making sure sellers and buyers are settled by the end of the day. You also need to have a bank to hold these assets for you. When Bitcoin has already solved the bank's problem, Polkadex aims to solve the exchange clearinghouse's problem. For starters, anyone who trades on Polkadex doesn't have to give us access to their funds. It works through bridges built to other networks like Polkadot, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Instead of depositing funds on the exchange to trade, they simply enter through a network like Polkadot and simply connect to our system to place orders. Our order engine matches the trades and the assets are settled via automatic swaps. Since at no point Polkadex takes custody of users' funds, we solve the traditionally known problem of an exchange getting hacked and losing customer assets. We think Polkadex-like technology becoming mainstream will strongly force the regulatory system to change. Right now, it leans towards having a centralized exchange license even harder and harder to secure and operate. Our mission is to build the perfect recipe for creating a clearinghouse for decentralized networks and offloading the risk to participants rather than concentrating it on one single entity that acts as the mother of all transactions. We can achieve this by making decentralized exchanges as fast and convenient as centralized ones. And then he goes on to talk about the order book, which really makes them different than what's out there so far. He says, to start with, none of the present decentralized exchanges supports a fast enough trading engine to run the traditional order book. They also lack liquidity to do this. Many are now experimenting with an off-chain order book. What is the point of building a decentralized exchange if the order book is not publicly verifiable? Very good point. Hence, all of them have moved to AMA-based DEXs based on the success of Uniswap. We don't see it as the solution. We see it as a compromise. There is a huge technology gap to be filled, and we hope to fill it using existing technology available through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polkadot. If you can make a traditional exchange run in a decentralized way, you empower the people by lowering costs, improving security, and reducing capital controls. Right now, it's not popular because people don't find it easy to use DEXs. We need to try and solve that problem. Okay, so how are they going to solve that problem? And the follow-up question here is a great one. He says, you are talking about Uniswap. How is Polkadex different from Uniswap and other AMM-based DEXs? And this is really where the order book comes in. He says Polkadex is an order book-based exchange, but the key difference is that unlike traditional order book exchanges that were built on multi-purpose blockchains, Polkadex is a solo chain with a dedicated blockchain that functions as a trading engine. That gave us a lot of flexibility to play with the block time, transaction weight, etc. And that goes back to what I was talking about. They've built the blockchain specifically to be a trading engine for a DEX. And again, that takes us why they are building on Polkadot and why we love Polkadot so much on this channel. You have to understand what Polkadot is allowing designers to do through this parachain design. And now that the parachain auctions have started this week, actually, as I speak, as I make this video, the first parachain auction is happening. We're going to finally get to see these projects in action. But this is why Polkadot is so revolutionary for crypto, because they're allowing projects like Polkadex to really build a blockchain that is designed specifically to do what they want it to do. And then they can just plug it into the Polkadot relay chain to get that top-end security and decentralization that you want from a big network. All right, he goes on. On top of that, the substrate framework provides us with the advantage of performing forkless upgrades with every improvement we make in the TPS. For instance, if we improve the algorithm to 1000 TPS, we don't have to go through the expensive process of forking the network to improve the speed of transactions in the exchange. We can simply hot swap. In addition to this, we have an AMM pool connected to every order book, which is probably a first in the industry. AMM pool will feed liquidity to the order book, which is not found in traditional DEXs. We have incentivized endpoints for trading bots and market makers to earn money to bring in liquidity to Polkadex, so it's a win-win situation for all. This, coupled with a fully modular interface, gives us the freedom to innovate in UI UX irrespective of the back end to which it connects. Institutional market making is another feature where you pair your liquidity only with identified people with KYC. We've also eliminated the front-running problem in DEXs by introducing feeless transactions. And that's right, they're going to have some transactions that will be feeless, no transaction fee to make the trade. The feature list is long and exhaustive and has been given a lot of thought before designing it. We have tried to address all of the issues faced by traditional decentralized exchanges. So as you can see, that is why we and many others are very excited about the potential of this project. As it says here, they are aiming to be the perfect decentralized exchange, a very ambitious goal, but if they can pull off what they're talking about, they definitely have potential to definitely be a step above what's out there already and be something very innovative. And they recently tweeted out this chart that really kind of gives you all the information of what they offer versus the competitors that are out there already. So as we can see with this chart, you've got Polkadex here first, then you've got Uniswap, SushiSwap, Balancer, PancakeSwap, and then at the end here, you got PolkaSwap, which is an AMM that is also built for Polkadot, one that I also really love and made a video on not too long ago. So let's look at the features and see who has them and who doesn't. Obviously, because this was put out by Polkadex, they've picked all the things here that they do really well. And so let's see how it compares with the other ones. Network, that's just what network they're on. They're on Polkadot. Model, they are the only order book model out of all of these. The rest of them are AMMs. Interoperability, because they're on Polkadot, they will be interoperable with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, with really any other major chain. And as you can see, the only other one that they have as interoperable here is PolkaSwap because it's also on Polkadot. Transaction speed. This is huge. They are saying very high, 500,000 TPS, which is very, very high. Latency very low. Network fees, they have 0. So you have PancakeSwap because it's on Binance Smart Chain, very low fees. PolkaSwap because it's on Polkadot, very low fees. But Polkadex is doing something different. They are doing 0 network fees. And then of course the ones on Ethereum, very high. UX, user-friendly. High frequency trading, yes. The rest of them, no. Trading bots, yes. Rest of them, no. Trade crypto for fiat, yes. That is a big one. You're going to be able to get crypto into fiat and vice versa on Polkadex. The other ones, no. Place market orders, yes. The other ones, no. Front running, no. The other ones, yes. Slippage, no. The other ones, yes. And that's because they are order book and not AMM. And this last one here I want to talk about. So this is KYC. Know your customer. So as you guys know, if you are using centralized exchanges, you got to go through KYC. You got to send them your ID, tell them who you are. They have to approve you. Then you can use the platform. So with decentralized exchange, with DeFi, one of the big advantages is you don't have to do KYC. It's all decentralized. You get privacy. You don't have to give anyone your data. You don't have to worry about where your data is. And so that is the advantage to decentralized finance. Now, Polkadex is doing something unique here. They're doing decentralized KYC. And this is for the order book only. So if you want to use the order book, the way they're able to make a centralized exchange experience decentralized is they've partnered with a couple of really cool projects. One of them is Fractal, which is a great project, but another one is Kilt protocol. This is one of my favorite Polkadot projects here, Kilt. And what both of these projects do is they allow for you to have a private way of verifying who you are. And that's what Polkadex is going to do. So you don't have to share your data with Polkadex. You don't have to give them your driver's license. You don't have to give them any information that they don't need to know. But you can verify yourself or your credentials through using Kilt and Fractal. And that way, Polkadex can verify who you are and do this decentralized KYC. So this is definitely very cool. I like this a lot. Obviously, as a huge fan of Kilt, love seeing them partnering with Kilt. I definitely think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future with other DEXs, but the fact that Polkadex is at the forefront of experimenting with this, partnering with great companies to get this done, that is a really cool element. All right, the other thing I want to touch on about this is this idea of interoperability, because back in their light paper here, they announced that they're going to be working with Snowfork. So Snowfork is a substrate to Ethereum trustless bridge created by the Snowfork team. So once Snowfork team completes the bridge, Polkadex will implement it, and they'll use Snowfork so that traders could lock their assets on Ethereum using smart contracts and bridge liquidity over to Polkadex. So that's one of the ways they're going to be interoperable, is using Snowfork. And we also know that once they become a parachain, they will be interoperable with all the other parachains. So they're going to be able to access liquidity from any other Polkadot parachain. And on the topic of parachains, they have not yet finalized their parachain strategy, but it looks like they're going to forego the Kusama parachains, go directly to the Polkadot parachain auctions once those launch. And I do think most likely they will be doing a crowd loan for that parachain auction. And the timing of that should be perfect because they're in no rush. They're actually going to be launching their next version, which will be the third version of their testnet. That is coming very soon in the next few weeks. And in that testnet is going to be the Orderbook and also their IDO platform. So we haven't talked about this yet, but Polkadex is also set to offer a fully on-chain IDO platform that will deliver a one-stop shop for new projects, from the fundraising stage to the listing of the token. And they're also going to allow the teams to vest certain tokens through Polkadex, so people will be able to trust that they're not going to just do a rug pull or something like that. So that's this Polkadex IDO platform. And then also they're going to eventually have Polkadex, the mobile version, as well. All right, well, I introduced you to Gotham J already, the CEO, but the rest of the team is all on the website. I won't go through them now. There are over 20 people on the team, all here. You can look them up, do your own research, of course. Always good to look into the team, their background, their credentials. All right, let's take a look at the tokenomics, shall we? So the token has launched. It's an ERC20 token right now. Let's have a look at it here. Right now, it's sitting at $20.45. which puts it at around a $40 million market cap. The fully diluted market cap would be around $400 million, because the circulating supply right now is only about 10% of what will be the fully diluted supply. As we can see here, since its launch, it had a few peaks, but it really has not crashed below this really baseline of $20, which is really nice to see. Had a big pump right when it came out, which is normal. A lot of things do that. Then it kind of settled in around between $15 and $20. Then it pumped again, hit its all-time high in May, and then has come down with the rest of the market. But it has really stayed pretty stable compared to some other projects. It's got a great community. The people that like this project really believe in it. They know that it's a longer-term hold. They've bought it mostly for the long term, as of course it's going to be a few months before the product is actually out there. It is on a couple exchanges already. It's on KuCoin, it's on Gate.io, of course it's on Uniswap. So let's have a look at the distribution of the token. So 9% are going to the team, 7% went out in the seed round, 8% in the strategic round, just over 10% in a private round. Then they've got 41% for the treasury, which is nice to see, 10% for their Parachain auction. And again, I would not be surprised if they also do a crowd loan. 6% are going to advisors, another almost 7% for marketing and ecosystem partnerships, and then 2% for the community round. So total supply, 20 million Pdex. And right now you've got about almost 2 million Pdex out there. So about 10% of the supply is out in the market already. And as you can see here, a lot of very reputable venture firms were backing this project from the beginning, got in at the seed round. So always good to see when projects have the backing of some good reputable venture firms. Alrighty, well, that was our look at Polkadex. Definitely a Polkadot project that has huge potential. As I've said before in this video, as you all know if you watch this channel, I love Polkadot. I've been doing a lot of Polkadot videos lately. I really think with the Parachain starting, people are finally going to understand what this Polkadot ecosystem and the Kusama ecosystem are going to bring to crypto. And I really do think that Polkadex has a great shot at being a big part of it. If you found this video valuable, would you do me a favor before you go? Would you smash that like button? And if you have not subscribed to the channel already, what are you doing? Take a second, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you've hit that notification bell. All right, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, my name's Milton, saying over and out.